I think one of the first things I want to talk about today is market trends and what you guys are seeing in the market. There's a lot of buzz around best of breed solutions. We talk a lot about ERP systems, and UKG sells HRIS and payroll platforms. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing, Jamie, in the market and how the marketplace may be changing.
Yeah, I think it's all about narrative.
Yeah.
And narrative sometimes can drive decisions strongly one way or the other, but there's a living, breathing, best of breed option that local governments really need to be embracing and have been from our perspective. When you think about it, we see a demarcation line in between business systems, so your finance, GL, all the cashiering, all the utility billing aspects of a local government, but then harnessing people systems with a UKG solution where you're having a cohesive user experience for not only employees, but also supervisors.
Linda?
Well, and I think what I would add to what Jamie said there is that, it's interesting because the very organizations like your tier one SIs have been promoting the concept of best of breed for, probably 20 years. Yeah. The problem with that concept at the time was, we're working off mainframe technology solutions. And so the integration of those platforms and the cost to have multiple stacks, it was expensive and it was complicated. With the addition of cloud-based technology, it really opens up the opportunity to do true best of breed, so that you really are finding the right systems for what you need within your organization. And part of what we're seeing is it's a slow move, but we're starting to see more adoption of the idea of utilizing true best of breed where you have enterprise platform. So you utilize the ERP as your primary platform, but then you bring in the other solutions that you need to actually meet the requirements for the business.
And do you think the expectations of the workforce, especially in the public sector, has the expectation changed from what they want from their day-to-day HR software?
Oh, absolutely. I think COVID changed that.
I think if you just look at, just statistically, 59% of employees in the public sector would leave their job if they were given an opportunity to work somewhere else. So if that's not creating a talent crisis to find the right people that have a heart for public sector, to help them have a meaningful and fulfilling career, a trusted career, where they feel like they are empowered to do their work and to drive services to tax constituents. So that's in the end, that's what we're striving to achieve.
Right.
Well, and I think what you also saw is post-COVID. So pre-COVID, the reality of government is the difference between it and private sector. There's a lot. But one of the things is that there is still a political component. And frankly, people systems and HR technology, it's not that sexy. You're not going to run your platform on, I'm bringing in a new ERP solution. But what we saw post-COVID is that there was, to Jamie's point now, is there's a talent crisis, there's a shortage of workers. Government is really struggling to attract and retain employees, and we're seeing a real focus on people systems, which is why we're so proud of what we do, because that is 100% what our solutions are based off of, our people first, technology second.
So tell me a little bit more about that, because it's an HRIS platform, right? You from hiring to firing and payroll and compliance.
Yeah.
How do you insert the people aspect into that? And how do you make it? Do you use your word sexy? I know you're not going to attract employees because you have a spanking new system, but can you? Or how do you see this?
Think about it just generationally. We have Gen Z who's grown up on technology. Millennials have grown up on technology. If they're confronted with a job requisition where they have to fill out just extensive amounts of information and then wait weeks, sometimes months, for that to cycle through the public sector process. So by that time, they found another opportunity. So that engagement, the intersection of technology to those acquisitions is very, very important.
Yeah, and I think, even though another uniqueness about government is that they're a single employer with multiple industries.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's still a single employer. And so being able to have that visibility across the entire organization. So, for example, in a talent shortage, and when you're dealing with attracting and retaining employees, sometimes the best place to look is in your own backyard. And by having people-based systems that really kind of take a look at skills across the organization, I might find find out that I didn't even know about Jamie, and Jamie's got all the skills I need to fill that position. So being able to bring that forward, it's going to be a real game changer, I think, for how we can look at talent across government.
Awesome. Now, I want to talk a little bit about UKG's product roadmap without, you don't have to reveal any secrets on here, but how does UKG plan to incorporate AI? I mean, everyone's talking about AI. You have to find your place within the AI ecosystem. What's new and latest at UKG?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about AI, it's really easy to get commoditized in the marketplace because it is a buzzword right now. I saw a lot of competitive solutions trying to use ChatGPT as their first entry into that. And we know there's some exposure there by putting data out on those platforms.
Right.
So we look at it as responsible AI, and the data set that we're using, it's only as good as the data that you're feeding it.
Right.
So UKG has about 80,000 customers. We also have Great Places to Work, which is a UKG entity. So we have 30 years of employee surveys. So just think of that for a minute. 30 years of what each employee expects of their employer and ways for those employees to really appreciate and have fulfilling careers. Whether it's, growing within that organization, like Linda said, and reskilling in some cases, because we've seen a lot of shifts in the skills required. And I think we'll still see that shift with AI. But to net it out, we're looking at the responsible aspects of it and really a interactive AI component. We call it UKG Bright because our future is bright. And it really is a conversational AI trusted sidekick.
That's fascinating. So who is the end user for UKG Bright? Is it me, the new employee?
Yeah, it can be you, the new employee, it can be the manager, it can be the back office, human resources. So it really is intended, again, to be in the hands of people, so that, from me as an employee, let's say I'm out on the weekend skiing and I break my leg. In the past, I might have to wait until Monday to contact my HR person to figure out what do I do, and I've got to submit a leave case. So now, as an employee, I literally could just log into the system and check to see what my benefits are, where do I go, what do I do, and I can even get the whole process started for my leave case all before I show, before anybody knows that I broke my leg over the weekend type of thing.
Yeah. I'll take it a step further. Like, think about just a life event change. We have the ability to load all your employee manuals, all of their processes and things of that nature can be loaded into Bright, so you can conversationally just ask it, hey, I've had a new child, what do I need to do? And it'll spit it out in very common communicative language. So think about it the other way. The old way of doing that is you have to go find your employee manual and you have to search through that and see what you can find. And it's just a much different interaction with technology.
Absolutely.
Well, and this is helping workforce not only from access to information, but also you're helping the talent shortage, because you may not have a person that oversees your benefits.
Correct.
You may have to call a vendor. So that's fascinating.
Yeah, and we see a lot of turnover too. So being able to be able to plan for that turnover, and we have the ability to look where there might be fatigue issues within an organization using AI. We can even identify if someone's been taking a considerable amount of PTO, there might be an issue there that needs to be resolved. Maybe they're a flight risk. So it's really endless. We've had about 2,500 different data models running within our AI processes, and we've been in this since 2015, really early on efforts.